Well, let's talk now to Mary Lawlor, UN Special Rapporteur of Human Rights Defenders, who presented a wider report on the issue to the UN in March. Mary Lawlor, thank you so much for being here on the programme. How worrying, how alarming what we've just been seeing?
Well, it's no surprise to me, really, because Pakistan is a country where human rights defenders and journalists are subjected to lots of different kinds of attacks and abuses, ranging from intimidation and harassment to arbitrary arrest and detention, and also, more worryingly and terribly cruelly, abduction, enforced disappearance and extrajudicial killing. And in the case of journalists who are human rights defenders, it's not just that they are attacked, as we heard in the introduction, it's the families as well that can be attacked as a way to get at the journalists defending human rights. And for example, one journalist, Mudassar Mahmood, who was disappeared last December, and as far as I know hasn't been seen since, he is still disappeared, and his wife died of a heart attack three weeks ago.
And is it clear to you that there is state involvement, that the intelligence services are involved?
Well, if you look at the history of Pakistan, since 1947, the army has either run the country directly or been pulling strings behind the scenes. The security forces work very much within the system, and some have links to extremist groups in Pakistan or support pro-militants in India. But you don't ever see that. It's not documented, so there's no record of it. And that leaves a lot of space for the civilian government to deny any allegations or to deny involvement of any kind.
And are these attacks investigated in any proper way, or is there impunity?
There is complete impunity, and impunity drives more attacks and more killings, and there is no oversight and no transparency and no accountability.
That is quite a backdrop in terms of what is happening, accountability. I mentioned the UN report that you presented not that long ago. In terms of the international community, how do they address an issue like this with Pakistan?
Well, what I can only tell you is, speaking from my mandate, I try and raise cases with the Pakistani government. I send them official letters about different cases. But it's a collective response we need. What you're doing, highlighting these awful injustices, is extremely important, because the one thing I've learned is governments hate to see their reputation tarnished in any way, and hate negative media attention. Other embassies in Pakistan should be protecting human rights defenders in a better way, making sure that they recognise publicly their legitimate work and praise them for doing that work. But at the end of the day, it is, make no mistake, it's the Pakistani state that has the responsibility to protect human rights defenders and journalists. They have signed up to the UN Declaration on Human Rights Defenders, and they should be doing it. And they should not be excusing themselves in any way. And the ISI and the military, who are deeply involved in the kind of interaction with the government, should not be an excuse.
All right, Mary Lawlor, thanks very much for joining us on the programme live there from Dublin. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.